strongly. This page is not for everybody, and that's okay. It's not a crime. you know, I just wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to get off my chest that God had put a placed on my chest when I woke up this morning, and I'm grateful to be able to see another day, and I'm grateful that you guys are able to see another day as well too. God is so good. It's a purpose that you're still here. Never forget that. You know, when it comes to healing, regardless to what type of healing it may be, it can never be forced. And I say that respectfully, regardless if you're an addict, regardless if you're in domestic violence situations, and, you know, regardless to you put a name to your book. When it comes to healing, and especially emotionally healing, from trauma, pain, it can never be forced. Because you have to be mentally ready. And I say that respectfully. That's the problem with society today. People don't understand that. You want somebody to get well so bad. You want somebody to see the bigger picture for what it is so bad. But if they don't have self-awareness, they're not going to understand the assignment. They're not going to put their best self forward. They're going to just be there, and it's going to just be a moment within themselves, and they say to themselves is, I don't even want to be here. I'm being forced. And this is going to get to my little story, what I got to tell today. So I'm going to be a little bit all over the place today, but in a good way when it comes to what I'm talking about. God is so good. If you're a person that's dealing with, substance abuse problems when it comes to addictions, and you endure trauma as a child, maybe being sexually assaulted, dealing with domestic violence and sicknesses, you put a name to your book. And it went into your adulthood, maybe, right? Dysfunctional folks, you put a name to your book. Unhealthy situations, places, things. You put a name to your book when it comes to your trauma. And you was trying to find an escape within escape, trying to find yourself, but you didn't know how to find yourself. And the only thing you was doing was just hurting yourself with words, and you just wanted to numb the pain within inside yourself. And you just knew how to show up for yourself, but you didn't have awareness within yourself because you was going the wrong direction trying to find yourself. Certain people overlooked you. They didn't take the time to get to know you for who you truly are. Or you just felt alone and you didn't know which way to turn, who to confide in. And then the people that you start to confide in, you start to reevaluate your life and say to yourself, they not for me, but this is all I know is close to love as I'm gonna get. When you don't know what love is, when you're trying to escape yourself. That's the worst thing we could do to ourselves is try to escape ourselves. When we're trying to find ourselves, a lot of people understand that. How you try to escape yourself when you're trying to find yourself, does that make sense? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I totally understand, especially when you're trying to find yourself. In every direction you're going, you just keep going in circles. Of a circle, within a circle, a cause of more trauma on yourself. Because now you're interacting with folks, getting yourself caught up out there, keep going the wrong direction, in circles. Thinking it's love, thinking it's respect. And all you're doing is disrespecting yourself low-key, not realizing because you don't have self-awareness within yourself. You're not alone. Trauma being endured within you from a child point of view, and it went into your adulthood and you didn't get the help that you were supposed to get. Or you probably did get the help that you were supposed to get, but you didn't feel like it was enough help for you. A temporary situation with an existence that it didn't exist to you. trying to show up for yourself, and they guiding you the wrong way, saying that this is what's for you, and they don't even know themselves. Real uncomfortable, huh? When they got their own problems, trying to tell you how to show up for yourself, and they don't even know how to show up for themselves. I totally understand. You're not alone. You're not. You know, it's not easy getting clean. Mm-mm. Especially when you got problems on top of problems on top of problems, and you just feel like your life is just, arrows just keep being thrown at you when it comes to life. And you just trying to find balance within yourself. As time progresses, trying to live in this cold, cold world we live in, to show up for yourself. And all you know is to go get high, or go pick up a drink, get a buzz, just to balance it out. But your problems are still there, and you see no way out. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we hurt ourselves so bad, not realizing it. You know, sometimes it's not about everybody else around you, especially when you're not well within. You know, it starts to become a problem within a problem of your own problem. Acknowledging your problem, that you say you have no problem. Trauma that was endured within you as a child. Sorry you had to experience that. But you stand before yourself today, and I'm proud of you. I know some days you don't understand how you showing up for yourself, and you just trying to find balance within. But you want to see better days ahead without having to deal with the trauma on top of the trauma, trying to find an escape within an escape, instead of running to the substance, wasting money when you could be invested in yourself. You're just trying to show up for yourself. I don't know your story. I don't. But what I do know is you matter and you are worthy. And you deserve to be around people who's going to genuinely love you. And you deserve to be around people who's going to genuinely respect you for who you truly are, regardless to what the trauma was endured within you from a child point of view going into your adulthood. And you deserve to be at peace with yourself in the most healthiest way. You do. You deserve to live a healthy life. The life that you always desired. You deserve it. You do. You deserve it and more. But always remember, one thing's for certain, two things for sure. When it starts with healing, it starts with you. You can't allow someone to tell you when to go to rehab and go ahead and go to this program, go to that place and show up for yourself, and you're half-stepping and you're not showing up for yourself. Because it's not going to make sense in your book until you're mentally ready. But just know at the end of the day, when it comes to trauma healing, it's never forced to face your music. But you could do it the right way. You could. You could go within and love you. You could go within and get in tune to who you are. So you be able to show for yourself. So you won't be able to feel like, you know what? I'm doing too much when it comes to this person. They don't want me around, so you know what? If I love myself enough, you know how I can show up for myself without the third-party conversations when it comes to my name? Yeah, that energy hit different. You know, because when you get tired of hearing people talk about you like a dog at the end of the day, and they say they love you, and they going against you to manipulate your character for something that you truly not understanding your pain. Yeah, that energy hit different. Because you matter and you are worthy. You do. And you are. Let's get into my little story. You know, you never question God, and I say that respectfully. One day I woke up, and I spoke to God, and I said to God, I said, wherever direction you allow me to go, I'm ready for this journey, right? But I was ready for the journey before I was ready for the journey, but I just knew I was going somewhere. I just felt it. I'm like, I'm going somewhere. So I just called on God. I said, you know what? Wherever you about to direct me, I'm ready for it. I think I'm mentally strong, and I think I'm mentally strong for this. I didn't know what I was talking about, but I just woke up feeling so good inside, and I just knew I wanted to help somebody today. And you got to be mentally strong helping people. You do. You can't be weak, because it's not for the weak to help somebody. When you're trying to help somebody, you got to show up. And you got to mean who you are. Not everybody means who they are. And this is my story. So I was minding my business with the mind of my business. So I hollered at God real quick. I said, you know, I don't know where you about to take me, but I know we going somewhere. I was reevaluating my life, saying to myself is, I needed emotional support. Emotional support. Because everybody's not for you. And everybody's not going to understand your walk of life when it comes to certain things and understand the showing up part. People don't understand that. You know, because not everybody's genuine. And especially when they know what you're going through in life. And they take what you're going through in life and try to kick you down while you're down. So you don't want that around you. I don't want that for you. It's not healthy. Because you start to hurt yourself and kick your own self down even more. But long story short. So I start to reevaluate my life and say to myself, I needed emotional support. I needed a support group or something. And I called this rehab place up. Please don't ask me why. I called this rehab place. And when I called this rehab place, it was an inpatient. It was an inpatient facility. And when I got there, well, before getting there, this vehicle came and got me. I packed my little bag. After I had that conversation with God, no more than 48 hours gonna bypass after me making that phone call. And I was ready. I was ready for what was about to happen. I was so ready. And I'm reevaluating my life, saying to myself is, you know where you're going, right? And I'm saying to myself is, yeah. And I'm analyzing everything that I'm doing now. Like, I'm just analyzing everything. And I'm just not understanding what's going on, but I'm understanding what's going on. So, my first encounter, when I came across the first person, it was a little awkward because the young man had to not be no more than 18 years old, okay? And he was court mandated to go to this facility. And as me approaching getting into the vehicle, the young man asks me, he says, hey, can I use your phone? And I'm saying to myself is, why would I want you to use my phone if your mother is telling you to take your behind to this place to get yourself together? And I'm reevaluating my thought process and saying to myself is, wow, if he's court mandated to go to this facility at the end of the day, he don't want to go here. He's being forced to go to somewhere he don't want to be. And you can't force somebody to go somewhere they don't want to be, regardless of how old they are. I just realized that. You know why? Check this out. 17 years old. 16, 17 years old little boy. I said, I'll let you use my phone, but I'm putting it on speaker because at this point in time, you a criminal. Hello, criminal. And I said it very respectfully because at this point in time, he was a criminal. And why I say he was a criminal, because of the fact that he said what he said, what he was going to. So I said to myself, it's okay. Sure, no problem, criminal. We ain't gonna say what he said, but he said what he said, what he's gonna say he was gonna do. And I had to be a witness to it. Driver said, ma'am, sir, in the back. I said, yes. You see what's going on? You're a witness, right? I said, you play with my eyesight. I don't hear nothing or see anything. So, whoever he's talking to on his phone now, he's inquiring that he's not going to this place and he's about to do about face. And they're inquiring, you don't have no money on you. He said, well, I'm going to get it from the he, she next to me. No, you not. You a criminal at this time. Absolutely not. I want no participation. Evidently, I'm actually entertaining this conversation because I'm a witness. It's a thought process for me. So he starts to speak to whoever he was talking to on the phone. And the driver's inquiring, I'm going to call your parole officer. And the young man is inquiring, I don't care. This is why I said to myself, as God works in mysterious ways, I knew I was on a mission to somewhere. This was only the beginning. The young man got out the vehicle and started his day. The driver now sits there in pursuit and asks me, did you see what just happened? I said, life. He wasn't mentally ready yet to start his life. He's out here on heavy-duty drugs. I don't even want to know how he got on them. It's more than just weed now. This is more than just liquor now. This is something heavy-duty. He's still a baby. This is what's just registering in my head, and I'm so mad. I'm pissed. I'm beyond pissed right now. Because I'm not understanding as to what just happened and when just happened, how it just happened. But at the same time, too, you can't force somebody to go somewhere they don't want to be. And one thing I wasn't about to do was fight with somebody at the end of the day that didn't want to be somewhere they didn't want to be. So, we keep it pushing to go to our destination. And the driver's telling me, well, you know, if he get on that train, whatever train he about to get on, this is not a regular train. So when you from New York and you know those type of trains you get on and the conductor says, hi, how you doing type of train, you know that at the end of the day, once you don't have a ticket or something like that, they're calling authorities on you. And 9 out of 10, there are authorities already in those train stations because there are certain reasons why. And they're going to be waiting for you. It's just the thought process for me. I didn't understand that part. Like, sir, you're going to be going way back to where you just came from. Don't know how you got here. What made you get here? How did you get here? But you was already incarcerated the first time. So God knows what this young man done did before actually getting to this place, before this place. Because before you get to a place, before a place, at the end of the day, they acknowledge you first. They do. They acknowledge you first. And I say that respectfully. Because hearing the conversation, it should have been no reason why somebody's saying how many times you're going to have to get locked up for you to reevaluate your thought process. They let you out this time for only good behavior to go to a program. You said you agreed to it, and you denied it. You see how when you're not mentally ready to do something? And this is what happens when people get on good behavior and it messes up for the next person at the end of the day. For someone getting an opportunity that genuinely wants to change their life around, wasting somebody else's time at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully because you know how many people can be in line for this position to get themselves in good conduct, just to get this off their record or get them out of situations or whatever the case may be for a type of position like this. And it's sad to say a position like this though, but has to be said. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna label you a criminal, they're gonna label you an addict, and they're gonna label you something. At the end of the day, you'll be reevaluating your life, saying to yourself at the end of the day, I am somebody. That's what you're gonna be saying to your reflection, I am somebody. But that's not how they feel. Carrying along now. It's the thought process of me. So as I'm reevaluating my life and say to myself is, I'm like going to certain areas of New York City now. And I'm analyzing everything. And I'm saying to myself itself, it's a big problem out here. It's a big problem out here. Trauma. There's so much trauma out here that people trying to find an escape to run from themselves because of the trauma that was endured within them. And before making my making that phone call, I had prayed to God a few weeks prior, and I just said, God, I just want to help others. I just want to help others. That's all I want to do is help others. The way you guided me, the way you helped me to see better days ahead, I just wanted to help others. And I didn't know God that was going to put me in a position to help others so fast. You got to be careful what you ask for now. But God is not going to put you in situations where you can't handle. That's what I realized too. Because it's not, it's the, ooh, whew. And I see why people don't want to deal with certain individuals at the end of the day. Because when you're an addict and you on that stuff, when you come off of it, when you get off of that drug of choice, that heavy duty drug of choice, it's not a clean process when dealing with somebody coming off drugs. I am going to say that firsthand. I did not know what I signed myself up for, but I know I was ready. God bless you all. For real. To the people that are cleaned and the people who are trying to get cleaned, I continue to pray for you every day because you never know when a relapse they may happen to you. Or you never know when you just have that moment in your life. Because being strong, you don't know how long you think you can be strong for. Because I even seen with people who go out in the streets and help people with addiction problems and stuff, they start to relapse their own selves. These coaches and these life coaches and stuff like that, and they start to relapse themselves. Or these people that are helping these people that's supposed to be getting help. These people relapse themselves. And this is what I'm seeing. And I'm saying to myself, this is not for the weak. How are we supposed to help our people and ain't nobody showing up the way they need to show up? Mentally ready. You can't have stepping. Because it's not for the weak. It's not. Especially somebody coming off a heavy duty drug. It's not easy watching that sight scene. And it's not easy trying to console somebody. Like, it's not easy. And as I'm watching within watching, I'm saying to myself is, let me go help. And as I'm nurturing this person, healing them back, I'm reevaluating myself and say to myself, am I hearing what I'm hearing? Everybody, that majority of them people that walked in that building, it was not one valid reason why they did not have an excuse why they're not showing up for themselves. They had a valid reason. Why they picked the drug of choice, when it happened, the day it happened, everything. Very smart. And everybody said the same thing. Trauma and pain was endured with them as a child, and it went into their adulthood. People overlooking them, no one taking the time to get to know them, being misled all the wrong directions. It's so sad to see that. Watching our neighbor having to nurture themselves back to healing and trying to show for themselves and not realizing how deep the pain is within. You know, you hear people say, well, just get over certain things in your life. Like, you can't just tell somebody to get over it. Because you can't just, you don't want somebody just to tell you to get over it. You don't know the cause and the effect that it did to them mentally. It drained them. Such a good kid that is brainwashed now mentally. Such a good kid. Good grades in school and everything. Maybe have been sexually assaulted. You don't know what that does to the mental state of them showing up for themselves. Or a kid trying to show up for themselves and they just dealt with the loss of losing their parents. You don't know what that does to someone's mental state. Yeah, it went from their childhood to their adulthood, running from themselves, of an escape, trying to find themselves. And then when certain individuals come into their life, they don't make it no better. Because not everybody's for everybody. And not everybody is caring. Like, not everybody knows how to care for someone and be genuine without having malicious intentions, looking for $1, or just trying to bring somebody down when they just trying to pick themselves up. Because you can physically be there with somebody, right? You could physically be there with somebody, and they will hold back so much from you. They will hold back so much from you, and you thinking you're doing the best job in the world, and you're not. You're part of the good part. That's the good part. As long as you're not hurting them with words and bringing them down when they're trying to find themselves. So when you start to hurt them with the words, and they're not going to trust you to confide in you. They're not. You know, this page is not for everybody, and that's okay. But just know that you matter and you are worthy. So as this journey is beginning, I'm reevaluating my life now, saying to myself is, okay, well, that was part one, right? That was part one. That was part one. The only reason why I said it was part one, because I'm thinking how the facility was. It was an area one where you got to go to the ministry, like the beginning part, like you got the infirmary part first, like when you go through the whatever. Whoever been, you know what I'm talking about. You go to the infirmary part first for a few weeks, and then the next part is where you get transferred to the actual dorm site or whatever the case may be, whatever they call it. So I was there for dumb stuff. um, I was just there looking for emotional support because I felt like nobody can understand my conversation when I try to have a conversation. And it wasn't more so me being on a substance, because I wasn't on a substance. I was just looking for emotional support, and I just thought that it's somewhere, it's not even just a getaway, but it's a getaway, because I was able to get away and do rethinking for all the right reasons. Because when certain people go to these places, they don't do the right thinking because they're not there for the right reasons. And I was just looking for emotional support when I went there, and I've been clean for a very long time. And, I didn't think it was a problem because of the fact that if you once upon a time, if you had a substance, abuse problem, whatever the case may be, you're entitled to these type of places. That's what I thought. And you're entitled to these type of places. And that was a good thing to hear, that people are still entitled, people are entitled to these type of places to go to, if they even find themselves in moments of they feel like they're about to relapse or whatever the case may be. And that's a good thing to know. Um, I just wanted to get the experience of just getting emotional support, and I guess I was at the wrong place. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Listen, I'm Naya, and Naya, genuine love, respect. At the end of the day, you won't be surprised. I'm just that type of person. Like, it's okay to be yourself and come out your comfort zone. And if you don't have the right answers, it's okay to find the right answers. That's what I'm just getting with this. So, as time is moving or whatever, I get to the next part or whatever the case may be. And I'm not realizing what I really just walked into, because I was in a dorm amongst 50 other women. That's a lot of people. I think it was a little bit, I think it was like about 50 or 60 females in that unit. And that's a lot of women. That's a lot. For everybody to be in one spot and for everybody to be on some type of substance, and I'm reevaluating my life, saying to myself is, I think I'm at the wrong spot, but then I'm saying to myself is, God placed me here for the right reasons. That's all I kept thinking. God placed me here for the right reasons, because out of 60 females, 5 females walked in the door willingly. Did you hear what I said? Out of 60 people, out of 60, 5 people walked in willingly. It was me and 4 other young ladies. Walked in willingly. So as I'm getting an understanding of what's going on, or whatever the case may be, and everybody's telling a little story, and I'm analyzing what I'm hearing. Everybody's drug of choice. Maybe a 1% was weed and alcohol. 1%. In the whole entire room was a heavy drug of choice. It was bigger than weed. It was bigger than just picking up a drink. It was people using syringes. People using things that they never even knew they didn't even know existed, but they just knew it got them to where they wanted to be. Some people even overdosing. I was sitting amongst maybe a good handful of 2 who just came out of the hospital from an overdose. within 6 months of them being there today. And I'm saying to myself is, what did I just walk into? And everybody keeps crying the same problem. Trauma, 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 trauma from a child point of view going into their adulthood. Talking about folks that's no longer even here no more. What they done did to them, how they hurt them, how they done disrespected them. But them folks no longer here no more. And these folks still holding on to this pain. Wow. And it started making me analyze life a lot. And I was saying to myself is, I guess this is part of my healing then, because the pain that I endured as a child, you know, with the unstable parents that I had and the unstable people that I had around me, it made more sense as to what's going on. That the pain that they endured with me as a child going into my adulthood, I knew I wasn't going to allow that to stop me from becoming my best self version of myself. And I just knew right there, I just kept saying, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. If I never had more reassurance, I had it that day. That I knew that regardless to whatever pain that anybody endured with me, I wasn't going to allow it to stop me from becoming my best self version of myself. Because every time I want to wake up, I want to choose me. They didn't choose me. I want to choose me. They overlooked me. They gave up on me. They allowed me to feel like I wasn't worthy of myself. They painted a delusional description of their mindset as a description I truly wasn't. When I was just trying to show up for myself. They closed doors on me when I didn't have nowhere to sleep. And they blamed me from being hurt as a child. And it went into my adulthood. And they kept blaming my substance abuse problem. My first time ever picking up a drink, I was 19 years old. But the pain happened way before then. The pain started way before I was 19 years old. And I say that respectfully. It's the thought process for me. And I just knew at the end of the day, I'm like, nah. I know there was better days ahead. I know there are better days ahead. Allowing someone to stop my growth. Allowing someone to allow me to feel unworthy of myself. And I'm just trying to show up for myself. Nah. You can manipulate those people, but you're not going to manipulate me no more. You could tell those people a fake narrative as to I'm crazy, I'm delusional, whatever you want to say at the end of the day, but I know who I am. You just trying to hide who you are. You know, it'll be the thought process of me. How people will paint a delusional mindset of their delusional ass mindset of a description that you're truly not. And then when they start to paint that narrative to certain people at the end of the day, you start to find it hard for you to show up for yourself. Because you feel like who to trust, who to confide in. When everybody's against you, they're going to manipulate your character. That's how you feel. When you go within, who to trust. I'm trying to confide in you, let you know how I feel. I can't even confide in you because you're not for me. And I just knew, I'm like, yo, from that day, I said, you know what? I get it. Not everybody gets their assignment within their assignment to show for themselves. Not everybody's willing to do the healing. But I already started my healing. My healing was already started before I even picked up that phone and made that call to where I was at that day. My healing already started. But I was just getting there. And I was just understanding God's plan. And as I'm analyzing everything that's going on, and I'm speaking to amongst certain individuals, because I wasn't speaking to everybody else, and for a lot of reasons, because I realized, I'm like saying to myself is, a lot of these people got anger issues. They do. These women got some anger. They was fighting each other like, yo! I'm not getting in the mix of that. Because at the end of the day, the way y'all going, y'all still criminals. And the way I'm set up at the end of the day, listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm about to call my Lyoya. Yo, stop playing with me. I came in here willingly. And what I started to analyze too was not only a lot of these females had anger issues, but a lot of these people were old enough to be my mother. I had some people, my age group, my peer group and all that, and even younger than me. But then when I started realizing there was a little bit of, every age was in that room. Between the age from 19 to 60, maybe even 70. I ain't lying. To 70 years old. And I was looking at myself before myself, though. Because it started to make me just love me more because of the fact that I'm saying to myself is, I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you. That's how I started to look at myself because I never had role models around me. Growing up, I never had real role models around me. I didn't think my teachers were my role model. And I'm saying that respectfully because when you come from a certain environment at the end of the day and they just quick to label you at the end of the day, like, that's not my role model. Someone to go against me when they supposed to be motivating me. That's not my role model. And I was just so impressed by myself that I'm paying attention to what's going on, and I'm saying to myself is I'm understanding that something for what it is. And I'm saying I love myself so much. I keep saying I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And I just kept saying thank you, God, for being patient with me. Because I didn't want to see myself being that 70-year-old woman still worried about why my biological folks done manipulated my character, allow me to feel like I wasn't unworthy of myself. They gave up on me. They made me be homeless. They did all of this stuff. They did all of this stuff to me. And then they blame me for it when they the one who caused me to be like this. And they just trying to find excuses for it at the end of the day. Because when you brainwash somebody at the end of the day, that's real. My story goes really deep. One day you'll hear it. But I just kept saying to myself, it's like, yo, I don't want to be that 70, 60-year-old woman or that 50-year-old woman or that 40-year-old version of me or that 35-year-old version of me when I get to that age or whatever the case may be. And I'm sitting there worried about why, crying and depressed and dealing with anxiety, PTSD, all types of stuff. I didn't want to be sick or trying to run to a substance to find my own communication that I know for me that's going to numb my pain. Because of what I realized at the end of the day, I was only hurting myself. Having pointless conversations with folks that was just trying to use me. They done robbed me, abused me, disrespected me, did witchcraft for me the toxic way. Yeah, I said spell work, the toxic way. So half of the time I wasn't even showing up for me. That energy hit different. And I just kept saying to myself is, you know what? I see my purpose. When I say they have controlling issues, a lot of them, oh yeah, they got hand problems. A lot of them got hand problems. And then when you start to hear their crimes, and then you see them fighting amongst each other, you already see who the problem is. And I see why you court mandated. And when I realized that all of them was court mandated, I'm saying to myself is, they ain't got nothing to lose. Nothing. They already in jail. Y'all already in jail. Y'all ain't got nothing to lose. And at the end of the day, this is basically a vacation for them. That's how they looking at it. First of all, you done dodged jail. But then they give you an opportunity to come somewhere and get yourself together, and you abuse it. When you could have gave somebody else that was up in line opportunity to get themselves together. You had one person who wanted to go home so bad, and they kept reevaluating her life and telling her, ma'am, you're not going home, you're going back to where you came from. That jail cell. She didn't understand it. She really thought she was going home. She really thought she was going home. She really thought she was going home. Because as soon as that they remove the consumer off the facility, right? Once they remove them off the facility, right? When you go to that nearest train station, that's only that one train station, them police officers will be sitting right there waiting. And this is not in the regular city. This is upstate New York now. So they operate differently now. They don't play. So it's the thought process for me. And the only reason why that person really wanted to leave at the end of the day was to go get high. Just to go right back to jail. And to hear how these people got on these type of substances, it broke my heart. It really broke my heart. That's why I'm so thankful. Like, you know, I've been through some stuff, and I'm hearing what they've been through. And I'm saying to myself is, I didn't take that route. And what I experienced was worse than what they experienced. They wouldn't have been able to handle a day in my life in my shoes. So I think I understood where they was coming from, but I didn't understand where they was coming from because of the drug of choice that they chose. But I wasn't against my neighbor. I was trying to understand them. Because I understood what I've been through. And what I've been through, it was worse what they've been through. And I'm saying to myself is, I didn't go that route to get that heavy duty drug. Maybe a little bit of weed, maybe a drink or two, or whatever the case may be, but what's that? I'm messing up my little brain cells still, but that's besides that. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. If that, it wasn't even weed. It was just the drinking. And I'm just saying to myself is, that's a heavy drug of choice. That's a strong drug. That's a heavy drug. And to be introduced to it, some people get hooked and some people don't because it's whack when it ain't for you. When your body rejects it for all the right reasons because it ain't built for you. You know, some people try certain drugs of choices and stuff and they just don't go back to it. It happens sometimes. And some people try sometimes and they get hooked and they reevaluate their life and say to themselves is, that's their escape drug. That's they go-to. But not everybody's the same. And this is just to say this, that because you're court mandated at the end of the day, you're not going to show up for yourself how you want to show up for yourself. Because you're being forced to be somewhere where you don't want to be. And if you're being forced to be somewhere where you don't want to be, how are you going to show up for yourself and acknowledge that the growth that you can get with the change in yourself? When you just sat there and lied to the judge and said that you want to change yourself. But you don't even have self-awareness to understand what you just said to the judge. Because you're not mentally ready yet to deal with your problems. You see how you're going to just play in your own face? You say you want change, you say you want growth, and somebody gives you an opportunity to get yourself clean. And it's showing you like, look, I don't want you to be locked up. I don't want you to be in a penitentiary. I don't want you to be in these type of environments. This is giving you an outlet to go express yourself, not just express yourself, but go within to find you. Just the concept of it. Because what I was trying to figure out is, Where's the resource at? How do we help? How can we help ourselves help our neighbors? How are we fixing this? If people showing up like this, that's what I took from it. And when I realized and reevaluated where I was at, it wasn't a place for me. I said, you know what? I gotta go. I ain't even gonna lie. I didn't make it 3 days. Nope. But the difference between me, they, and them, I went in there willingly. They went in there court mandated. And it got so real to the point where the fights just kept getting disgusting. They just fighting them. They not only they just becoming their worst enemy, they fighting themselves, they fighting everybody else around them. It's just unhealthy. It was just very unhealthy. Then the power went out. It was just a moment within a moment. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Then this is the part where I had a problem with. You know, I'm not against my neighbor when it comes to their preference or who they like at the end of the day. Not against it. As long as you ain't got no malicious intentions to bring harm towards me, we good to go. But what I witnessed in a female inpatient facility was, a man within the dorm. Because he had breast, and they couldn't have him on the men's side because, it's going to be a problem within a problem or whatever the case may be. And I felt like that was very unsafe. I did. And when I first acknowledged it, when I noticed that there was a man in the dorm, alone itself, I felt that it was unsafe, And I had to reevaluate my life and say to myself is, regardless to anybody's sexual orientation at the end of the day, that's still a man. It's still a man, regardless if he has tits or not. That's still a man. And why I said that was because of the fact that you got female staff members that's in this unit. If a fight was to break out and he was supposed to be participating in this fight, you think them staff members is going to stop him? That's a man. And you know how long it would take for a man to actually get to that side, to actually come to someone's rescue? A minute. Because they're going to be sitting, that man, whoever's going to get that call is going to be reevaluating their thought process and saying themselves is, first of all, I don't even want to be here. 2, why I even got him in there. 3, what's your problem? And who did this? Who signed us up for this? It's a thought process to me. So guess what? As I said, I don't know why. I said a fight is going to break out. Day 2, day 3, I'm reevaluating my life. I gotta go. I gotta go. This is not a place for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm in here willingly. And I think the last thing y'all want to do is have me in here willingly. Because all y'all going down. Every last one of y'all is going to go down. And I just prayed to God, and God said it's time to go. I saw enough. I never saw an unorganized facility in my life. Something that's supposed to be organized properly. Something new to you, at the end of the day, should always have an option of change, because the world changes every single day. And judging somebody at the end of the day is not part of the plan, but making them feel comfortable is part of the plan. And everybody's supposed to be safe at one time. And that's what they didn't do. They so worried about and concerned that this man, him going into a man's dormitory, he'll be having sex with people or whatever the case may be. First of all, the way this facility is set up is they're probably about like what, 14 rooms or something like that. They could have at least got made it make sense somehow in some way. They could have, but they chose not to, causing another consumer to get hurt. A female at that. A man attacking a female. But his response is that she started it and she hit him first and all this and the third. I'm going to say this. Regardless to however it started, it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have. It shouldn't have happened at all. Knowing that it was a man in a facility, in a female's dorm room. It shouldn't have happened. They say safety first. Safety's supposed to be important. So, you know, I'm when it comes to certain things and when it's certain labels, when it comes to my sexual orientation, I don't agree with a lot of stuff. So it's very weird to know that people are sit there and quick to judge a book by its cover at the end of the day, because you wouldn't want nobody to stereotype you, and I say that respectfully. You wouldn't want nobody to stereotype you because it's very uncomfortable judging a book by its cover. It's very uncomfortable. It makes the room a little awkward, you know? Especially when people don't agree with certain things that are being labeled on innocent individuals. And I say that respectfully. I don't condone that at all. I'm truly against it. And I say that respectfully. Because I know how it feels to be a victim as a child. So I'm not sitting here going against my neighbor because of their sexual orientation. I don't care what you do at the end of the day. As long as you don't bother innocent people. That's it. Or you don't have malicious intentions to hurt yourself or hurt innocent people within the process. And I say that respectfully. You know, I can respect my neighbor without having the malicious intentions to bring harm towards myself and others around me. It's called respect. I may not like how my neighbor may tie their shoe. I may not understand how my neighbor walks the way they walk or whatever the case may be. It's okay. But I know how to stay in my lane and elevate and become my best self vision of myself without having malicious intentions to bring harm towards myself or others around me. But I do not agree with men who label themselves as trans men, transsexual men, I don't even know the words. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, you label yourself and you have boobies and stuff like that. Like, I'm not here to be disrespectful. I do not agree with them being in the same facilities as a female. I don't agree. It's a safety problem. I truly feel it's a safety problem. Regardless to if she did start it or not, I don't care who started it. It shouldn't matter who started it at the end of the day. He shouldn't have been there. It's a problem. You know, it's one thing them coming out in the daytime, hanging out with the young ladies or whatever the case may be, but for them to be in the same dormitory, no, I don't agree with it. I don't agree. Because a person go to 0 to 100 really fast and it doesn't make any sense. Because you can't label when how someone's going to actually feel like they want to have controlling issues and then they just want to be themselves and have a hand problem today. I think that's a problem. And I don't mean to be disrespectful in no shape or form to anyone when I say that respectfully. But I just don't agree that, you know, men who identify themselves as women should be in the same dormitory with women. No. It's not me being a hater or nothing like that, but I feel like safety is first. I feel like safety is very important. Safety is very important. And not only just safety, just important to, you know, the consumer being there, but safety is very important to the staff members as well. Because they can hurt themselves trying to break up a fight and they trying to remove a man off of a female at the end of the day, like, you know, and things go quick left really fast, and I don't agree with them being in these type of environments with female dormitories. I don't agree. You know, everybody may not be the same, you know, because everybody's not the same, but you just never know. And to take a risk like that, that's a really big risk. And I feel like when I walked through that door, I feel like they really took a big risk because they was reevaluating their life, saying to themselves is, what the just going on? Did we just experience what us experiencing? And they never had that happen before. This is their first time experiencing this. So something new to somebody, imagine how the trauma will impact somebody that's actually dealing with it. The impact it could play on somebody today that gets hurt in a situation. You're supposed to feel safe going into environments and getting the proper help that we need. It stops our progress trying to go into these environments if something's going to escalate and happen because of the fact that someone decides they want to have controlling issues and have a hand problem. It's okay to split two females away from each other and then put them in two separate rooms or something. It's easier to do that. It's easier. But for somebody to break up a fight against a man and a female at the end of the day, and he feel like, okay, well, she ran up on me real good, and I gotta get back at her. What? If you don't go take that L and sit down, you got your ass whooped. That's what happened. You got your ass whooped. Have a seat. You don't know what kind of strength anybody got nowadays. You don't know. Because she showing up. Don't know good. But this is to say this. You know, understanding the experience that I experienced, and I had to remove myself, and for all the right reasons, because I just felt like my time was up anyway. You know, those 3 or 4 little days or whatever the case may be, because after the third day, I said, discharge me, please. Thank you kindly. They said, well, you gotta speak to the director. Where is that director? No problem. Director, I don't want to be here. First thing she acknowledging is, I see that you're not court mandated. Thank you and amen. She said, God is good. Hello. And I had my conversation amongst had my conversation with her. She was a nice lady, really nice lady. She understood where I was coming from, and I was trying to explain to her that I was just looking for emotional support. And I said, I think I'm in the wrong place. She said, I think so too. Out of all places you picked this? I said, yeah. I said, but God is not going to allow you to walk through certain doors for no reason, And she understood where I was coming from, and she understood it, understood the assignment for what the assignment was for, and I'm just grateful that I was able to experience it, and I was able to come across young ladies who were willing to become their best self visions of themselves, and I try to acknowledge to them that, just because you're having a situation with yourself today don't mean that you can't override it. You may lose people during your journey, but don't lose yourself any more than you lost yourself. And, One thing I understood when it came to the assignment, then a lot of them said is what I realized when it comes to a lot of these places, a lot of people are not genuine to them. Because a lot of people have never been genuine to them or have been real with them, and they don't understand what real is because they've been fake gaslight all their lives and they don't know what's real anymore. So I always understood God's purpose for me, because not everybody's real with you. They're not. You know, people will rather see you fall than to see you get up and take your time to crawl and get to your destination and become your best self vision of yourself, to be able to walk to that door and understand that there are better days ahead. They rather kick you down so they don't want to see you elevate. And they can see so much potential within you. And because you're overlooking yourself, they see so much potential within you, they rather not let you see who you are before yourself. So they start to feed you this, they start to feed you that, they start to feed you this, they start to feed you that. Stuff that's going to deteriorate you. Stuff that's not going to allow you to feel love within yourself, to allow you to create love within yourself, or to allow you to have self-awareness within yourself. It will only stop your growth. And you are deserving to be around genuine people that's going to genuinely love you for who you truly are, genuinely respect you for who you truly are, with no malicious intentions. A person can speak all day long about something, and I say that respectfully. But when it's not genuine, it ain't gonna make sense to you. And when you don't have self-awareness within yourself, you ain't gonna know what's real or fake no more. Because people do, they just try to feed you a whole bunch of bullcrap that sounds good to them to look for $1. And when you on God's time and money, what? $1. Money. Yeah, I ain't. Not doing it for the money. When I created this page, when God allowed me to create this page, right? It was never about the money. It was never about the clout. Nah. And I always made that clear. Very clear as day. So anybody I ever came encounter with, just to, you know, give them a word of wisdom or something like that and let them know it's going to be better days ahead because God was guiding me to them. You know, it's not about clout. It's not about money at the end of the day. I'm only doing God's job. You know, and I think I've been doing a good job for not just with this platform, but just in general, just showing up. You know, for or even on the outside world, just not just the internet, you know, on the outside world too. And I don't brag about what I do. I love what I do. So if I ever came encounter with you and you didn't understand yourself and you understand yourself today a lot more better than you did probably like what, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and you showing up for yourself differently today, that was only God showing you at the end of the day that, hey, continue to be patient with yourself, because God is good and God is real. And God will place certain people in your life when you least expect it. It's never about clout. But God is good. And I'm proud of you, whoever you are. You know, I'm not looking for a referral. I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm just happy that you're happy. I'm happy that you're finding peace with yourself. And just be patient with yourself. And don't hurt yourself anymore with your own words, trying to find yourself. Because you will always forever heal within. You will always forever heal. Never forget that. Because God is still patient with you. You know, you got to be careful what you pray for. And I say that respectfully. You got to be careful what you pray for, because when God shows up when you least expect it, sometimes you overlook your own prayer. And when you overlook your own prayer, you miss the assignment. You missed yourself because you got caught up within yourself, overlooking yourself. So when you ask for God to guide you a certain way, or you asking God for a certain sign, and God places a certain sign right in front of you, don't overlook yourself. You may just miss your stop. And I say that respectfully. Because you're sitting there asking for better days ahead, right? And you're praying amongst praying or whatever. And God answers your prayer when you least expect it. And then you get a little knocking on the door. When you least expect it. Not a physical knock, but you get a little knock on the door by a little angel, right? When you least expect it. You know, because when that little butterfly appears in your life at the end of the day, they're there for the right reasons. So God just placed it right in front of me when I least expect it. I never questioned how I was going to receive it, but I got the messenger. The messenger didn't overlook me. That energy hit different. You know, and what I realized too, as I was parting ways with this place or whatever, I just knew that my purpose was bigger than this. I just knew that there are better days ahead, and I was on a journey just to not just continue my journey of healing, but I just wanted other people to know that you're not alone, and going through this journey is not easy. It's not. It's not easy. And you're not alone. Like, you're not alone. You know, somebody asked me the other day, what is my content about on this page? It's a little bit of everything. I'm going to say, like, I'm really different. Like, I'm really different. You know, you get a laugh, you may get a cry, you gotta reevaluate your thought process today and get yourself together and get on the right page for yourself to become your best self vision of yourself. But, you know, one thing for sure, two things for certain, ain't nobody's forcing you to go within to get you together. You gotta mentally be ready. You know, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of motivational when it's genuine. Not everybody is real nowadays. People just looking for $1 in all the wrong places at the end of the day. And I say that respectfully. All money ain't good money. Because at the end of the day, you think somebody's truly helping you. At the end of the day, you're reevaluating your thought process and saying to yourself is, they don't even got it together. They don't. They don't even got it together. How's somebody gonna help you and they ain't even got it together when it comes to certain areas? They're not as strong as you think they are. And then you reevaluating your thought process, and now you're going through a depression stage because they're in balance. And that makes you in balance because you had hope for somebody. It happens. It happens. You know, because when people do certain things for all the wrong reasons, you know, it may come off genuine at first, but when you start to reevaluate your thought process and truly have self-awareness within yourself, you start to analyze at the end of the day, this person's only doing it for the money. They're only doing it for the money. And when you do it for the money, you're not doing it for the right reasons. Because all money ain't good money. And I say that respectfully. Ain't no dollar in this world. Ain't no dollar in this world would be able to tell me to define who I am today when it comes to my healing. And when I started my journey. Ain't no prescription, ain't no doctor will be able to cure me. And I say that respectfully. Why? Because I experienced an experience of a toxic situation of experience when it came to these folks. And they were against me. Quick to label me. Not only quick to label me at the end of the day, but they got their own problems. They not even at peace with themselves to even have a conversation with me. It's that part for me. And half of the time, they be up there doing it for the wrong reasons. For the money. Just to get a check. If you're doing something just to get a check, you're not it ain't going. It's you're not showing up for you're not showing up for the person. You're just doing it for the money. So I understood the assignment that when I started my healing journey, that being sexually assaulted as a child and, you know, being brainwashed and manipulated and all types of toxic stuff and domestic violence and that stuff went on into my adulthood, I had to go within. It was deep. It was a real deep cleanse. It was. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But I knew that choosing me was the best part I could ever choose. Was me. Because that's all I got is me. And besides God, by my side, that's all I got. Ain't nobody gonna pick me up but me. And I can't be sick on top of being sick if I gotta pick me up. When you only got you. You know, energy hit different. Everybody fake around you. They wanna use you, abuse you, disrespect you, all types of toxic stuff. And then they try to manipulate your character with a description that you're truly not. It's not easy. It's not easy. You know, trusting people. It's not. Especially when you've been hurt so much. So allowing somebody in, it's like you gotta. Everybody came around you when everybody come around you for all the wrong reasons. You start to question. Nah, I'm good. I'd rather be at peace with myself than allow someone to come into my inner circle and just try to bring me down when I know what it feels like to be down, and I can't, and I don't live here today. It don't live here today. People act like they so for you and they care about you, they love you, and they got your back, and they just want to use you. They just want to use you. That's all they want to do is use you. And then paint a narrative of a description that you truly not because they can't use you. How that work? Get out of here, yo. I never understood that. It never registered to me. It's a thought process for me. You know, that's why you don't question God. You can't. You should never question God. Because you don't know what God got in store for you when it comes to better days ahead and what direction God may just direct you, and you don't even know why you go in that direction, but you're going. And you mad and you are worthy. They gave up on you. Don't give up on yourself. They overlooked you. Don't give up on yourself. But when it comes to dealing with trauma healing, you gotta mean what you say and say what you mean. You can't fake gaslight yourself wearing a mask. You can't have one foot in one door, one foot in the other door. It would never make sense. It would never make sense. Having self-awareness, having self-respect, self-peace, self-confidence, self-care, self-discipline, self-value, self-worth, self-patience, healthy boundaries, healthy balance. To show up for yourself. They're not gonna understand that you chose you. Yeah, you may be on a substance today. You may be on your drug of choice today. It's okay. But you gotta mean what you say and say what you mean to be true to yourself. That you want better days ahead. You don't want it to control you no more. You don't want to limit yourself because of something that happened in your life. When you could become your best self version of yourself, and all you're doing is keep making excuses for yourself. Why you can't show up for yourself. Because you're not just shortchanging the people around you, but you're shortchanging yourself. Because when you're not well mentally, when you're not mentally well, it ain't gonna show up for you. And you're not gonna be able to show up for the ones that you truly love, that you want to show up for. And it's okay to know that, you know what, I have a problem. It's okay to acknowledge you have a problem. It's okay to acknowledge that, okay, I hurted myself a little bit more longer than I was supposed to. It's okay to acknowledge that, you know what, these folks put me in a predicament, in a bad shape, mentally. They did. They put me in a bad shape mentally. And I don't want that to show up anymore. I don't want that to stop me from being successful. I don't want that to stop me from being there for my children. I don't want that to stop me from being able to go to nice places, new places, and experiencing new things and showing up for myself. You don't want those type of excuses. Because you know what starts to happen? Is when you start to pick your drug of choice, regardless if it's just a drink or not. The impact that you play on the ones you say you love. When you start to have excuses after excuses after excuses when it comes to them showing up for them, and you can't show up for yourself. You want to be the best father in the world to your child. But because you had trauma endured with you from a child point of view and went into your adulthood, you never got the proper help and you never had the proper guidance around you to show up for yourself. But you always knew within that you always had a bigger purpose within yourself. And you would love to get in tune to who you truly are, to be at peace with yourself. Nobody understands your cries. Nobody understands your pain. Nobody understands the moment where you feel so weak within and you just trying to be strong for yourself and you just want to give up. But you just keep getting up and try to balance it out. They don't understand how strong-minded you have to be a parent today. When you feel like there's no way out to escape your own problems within. You love to be the fact that you could be the greatest parent to your child, and you're hiding from your child with a mask on, but you want to show up as your 100% self for your children. You don't like to half step with your children. You're giving them, you feel like you're giving them all your attention, but you still feel like something is missing within you. And you don't want to hurt yourself with your own words anymore. Or that mother that's probably trying to fight for custody for her child, or that mother who's just trying to find balance within her situation to show up for herself. Yeah, because trauma was endured within you from a child point of view going into your adulthood. You're just trying to find yourself. They gave up on you. They overlooked you. Mommy, daddy issues. Mother went against you. Pops didn't know you. They left too soon. All you know is memories that they hurt you with pain. All you knew was memories that things would never be the same. And you're not trying to rub that energy on your innocent child. So they would display that energy when they get it older as an adult and display that to their children. Because of what you displayed to your child. You matter. You matter and you are worthy. You are. You may not have understood why your parents had an addiction problem. You may not have understood why your parents gave up on you. You didn't understand. And why you was coming in contact with people who weren't for you. But there are better days ahead. When it comes to trauma healing, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's truly not easy. But you matter and you are worthy. You are. You matter yourself so much you overlook yourself. You matter yourself so much that the reflection before you see yourself, that person that you overlooking, is the most smartest, beautiful, intelligent, brightest person in the world once you get in tune with who you are. You are. You are worthy of yourself. Mm-hmm. You are. They overlooked you. They gave up on you. Or they didn't know how to. They didn't know how to be there for you. And because they didn't know how to be there for you, you took their energy as, you know what? I'd rather just go my own way and figure it out. Or they didn't know how to be there for you because they hurted you with words and they didn't know how to say sorry after saying what they said to you when they hurted you with words when you're just trying to find yourself. When you're trying to find yourself. You know you matter and you are worthy. You are. And there are better days ahead when you choose you, your best self vision of yourself. It's there. Yes, it is. It's there. You know, it don't matter what type of trauma was endured within you from a child point of view, being, sexually assaulted, domestic violence, hate crime, discrimination, sicknesses. Don't matter what your culture is at the end of the day. You know, you are worthy and you matter. Especially when you don't have malicious intentions to bring harm towards yourself and others around you. You matter. You do, and don't sell yourself shorter than you did. Don't shortchange yourself. As long as you did. Because God is good and God is real. And I say that respectfully. Like I said, this page is not for everybody. You know, I understand that when certain people go to certain environments to get help, that they don't get the help that they truly need. And then when you're sitting in these classrooms, or if you go to an outpatient place or whatever, you're sitting in a room with amongst different cultures and, different personalities, and everybody's on a different page when it comes to their drug of choice and then their personality, and not everybody's on the same page when it comes to respecting each other, you know, healing process when it comes to their drug of choice to get off of it. And some people be in these places for all the wrong reasons. So disgusting, yo. But God said there are better days ahead, and I truly believe so. I truly believe so. You know, my page is for people who are having a misunderstanding self-day with themselves. Or not just having a misunderstanding self-day with themselves, but my page is for a genuine person who knows at the end of the day that they love themselves, to respect themselves, to understand, to respect their neighbor page. This is what this page is. So like I said, you may get a cry, you may get a laugh, you may get a reevaluate your thought process day, and you may get a moment where you say, you know what? I think it's time for me to do the right thing for me. And mean what I say and say what I mean. And go within and do my healing. But I just want you to know that you're not alone, and you freely, reach out to me within the live chat or whatever the case may be when I go live, and I will acknowledge you. I would never ask for your information. I would never ask you for money. At the end of the day, we can get a group chat going or something, or a one-on-one video chat or something, and, and we can talk, you know? But like I said, this page is not for everybody, and that's okay, and I understand that. And it doesn't matter about your sexual orientation at the end of the day, because this page is welcome to anybody. You know, and one thing I don't do over here is I don't have malicious intentions, and I'm not looking for no money at the end of the day. And I make that very clear when I first created this platform over here. You know, for the genuine ones to come in and express their feelings and let me know that, yo, hello, you right there. That fool got me messed up today. You know, just be yourself over here. You know what I'm saying? And we don't disrespect each other over here. We respect each other. So when you come with that disrespect, just know at the end of the day, God don't play. God do not play. And you're going to be reevaluating your thought process when playing with a child of God. And I say that respectfully. You know? So I'm going to just wrap this video up a little bit. But just know that you're not alone. And I just wanted to give you a little brief story about my little background or whatever the case may be. What brought me here today. And God is good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. And I'm truly thankful to anybody who watched this video and understands where I'm coming from. And you know, a lot of people may not understand me and where I'm coming from at the end of the day, but I'm not meant for you to understand, because there are people out here that have they misunderstanding self-days. So there are people who understand my humor. There are people that actually can relate to me at the end of the day. And you know, this is a place for us, not for you, and that's okay. And I say that respectfully. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna wrap this up, and I think I'm gonna end it off with a little something. It's been real. I just want people to know that regardless to what trauma was endured within you from a child point of view, that there are better days ahead, and you don't have to fake gaslight yourself that God is working in your favor, you know, because you're only playing in your own face, and I say that respectfully. You know, and when you're at peace with yourself, you don't wear a mask. You truly mean what you say what you mean, that you're truly at peace with yourself, and you truly love yourself within, and, you know, God is truly working in your favor. God is good. God is so good. You know, no money in this world will be able to identify and be able to come any closer to God. No dollar in this world. And I say that respectfully. God is so good. God is good. Wow. They gave up on you. You only hurt yourself with your own words, allowing a substance to substance you, to allow you to feel like, wow, I feel good today, but it's only for the moment. But my pain is still here. Substance abuse ain't, wow, substance abuse. Wow, I chose substance abuse. I chose substance abuse. My trauma, my pain, it wasn't even an exchange. When the pain still was there, things still felt the same. Running from myself, trying to escape my pain, trauma and the pain. Want to show up for myself, but don't know how. Being misguided the wrong direction. Everybody saying they for me, but they against me. It be the thought process of me. When they take your kindness for weakness, manipulate your character for the description of their delusional mindset, you trying to show for yourself, your energy hit different today. As you analyze and overlook yourself and reevaluate your thought process and say to yourself is, wait, they was only laughing at my pain, my trauma and my pain. Things ain't feel the same. How you for me, you against me. Things would never be the same. Yeah, when they ain't for you, they ain't part of your journey for the right reasons. Somebody that's supposed to be part of your journey in a healthy way, they ain't gonna go against you. They supposed to be for you in the most healthiest way. Wow. You matter, you matter, you matter. Hurting yourself with words today. Trying to eliminate it on a daily basis. But you keep turning around hurting yourself with your own words, with your own pain. Facing the music, it ain't easy. Don't know who to confide in when it comes to your pain. Yeah, your trauma. Things still ain't feel the same. It's still there. It will always be there. But choosing your best self vision of yourself, things could change. It's not about overlooking your pain. It's about coming face to face and allowing things to change. It happened. It was an experience. An experience so uncomfortable. An emotion you can't explain. Wow. Just want better days ahead. Days ain't gonna be the same. Once you start to elevate and become your best self vision of yourself. Substance abuse, what's that? Things ain't been the same since the last time I picked up. I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Things ain't been the same. I didn't know how to love myself once upon a time. Now I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Wow. You matter. You are worthy. And I'm proud of you, whoever you are. Because you are deserving to be around people who's going to genuinely love you. You are deserving to be around people who's going to genuinely respect you for who you truly are. You matter, you are worthy. Don't hurt yourself with words today. They gave up on you. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on you. Don't. They did, but don't give up on you. You are worthy. They gave up on you, don't give up on yourself. They overlooked you, don't give up on yourself. God never gave up on you. God never overlooked you. God never overlooked you. God never overlooked you. One day at a time, because God is still being patient with you. God is still being patient with you. Never allow a hate in disguise or person malicious intentions. It's like you watch your freedom, your thought process, your eyesight in your pockets, because they have malicious intentions. You are worthy, you matter, protect your energy, because not everybody's deserving your time. I truly appreciate your time to the genuine ones only. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. You matter, you are worthy. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Love yourself, love yourself. Love yourself with God's protection for every direction. Love yourself. You matter, you are worthy. Thank you for your time to the genuine ones only. It's been real. Have a good day. Have a safe weekend. Protect your energy. Now your genuine love, respect. It's the thought process for me. Have a good day.